Good morning. Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We are dental practice brokers. So thank you for listening today. Today's topic is, when should the seller of a dental practice begin looking for alternate buyers when the present buyer is negotiating? We're going to get into that and give you different scenarios. So we've been doing the dental practice brokerage for 12 years now. We have 10 employees, and we are nationwide in 27 states. We're available to you essentially 363 days a year, from 7:30 a.m. East Coast time to 9:30 p.m. We only take off Christmas and Easter. A lot of our work we do is on the weekends, so we're available. Call us. The information you're about to hear is only for entertainment purposes only. It's not business or legal advice. If you're thinking about selling to a DSO and you're large enough, over $800,000 or $900,000, with over 4 or 5 operatories, please give us a call, because we work with virtually every DSO, large ones across the country, and they will often pay our commission, so there'll be no commission to you under most circumstances. And then there are times that a few of the DSOs, a select few, will also pay your legal fees, which will be reimbursed upon successful closing. So a lot of great opportunities out there, and we can help you find the right situation for yourself. Our phone number is 201-663-0935, and our website is dentalpracticeguide.com. Also, nationwide dentalpracticebrokers.com. So we're here to help you. Just give us a call. We'll get on it. So let's get into today's topic. You have a buyer that we as brokers brought to you, and we're negotiating. The buyer's interested, buyer's motivated. We pre-approve all our buyers. We make them all sign non-disclosure agreements. Everybody has to sign. So we have a good buyer. The buyer may or may not have made an offer at this time. We personally never, so to speak, shop the deal. If a buyer makes an offer, we don't take that offer and try to go elsewhere with it and, so to speak, shop it. We never do that. It's not worth our time. We're too busy. It's unethical. We simply will not do that. And we've been number one reason, we don't want to lose the buyer. What happens, you do something like that, you screw around like that, you lose the first buyer because he's angry. And if the second buyer doesn't work out, you lost the second buyer. So you lose the first buyer and the second buyer. The way to do it is to keep other parties, you can keep them interested, tell them that you have a deal you're working on, and it may or may not go through, but let's stay in contact, let's communicate. Now, certain letters of intent and specific language, you've got to take the practice off the market. We've got to abide by those rules. But at the same time, you've got to keep an eye open towards another buyer if the first one falls apart. And then the question is, when do you start looking as a seller? When do you start looking for another buyer? Because you're getting shaky about the deal. Well, I always say, try to go through with the present buyer, try to put it through. Stay on top of everything. Get the present buyer to go close the deal. At the same time, any buyer you've had in the past, or anybody that asks about the practice or calls back again that you've showed previously, you just be honest. We have a buyer. We're working with the buyer, but if anything changes, we're going to call you. Keep that door open at all times. And when I say all times, I'm talking about right to the closing table. A day before the closing table, deals can fall apart. You've got to keep that deal open. You've got to negotiate, keep it open, and keep your other buyers kind of in the game, and say if it falls apart, we'll call you. Now, I just find about 30% of deals historically across the country do fall apart. lower percentage with dental. That's after a offer has been made. It's a little lower when you're dealing with the DSO. Maybe you're in the 20th percentile, 80% go through. But a number of them don't go through, unfortunately, but it does happen. So you've got to keep that buyer in the background, keep them rolling, and do the best you can with the present buyer, because who's ever there is motivated. They want your practice. They have pre-qualified. They're excited about it. You know, they're ready. So try to do the best you can with the present buyer and see if you can put the deal together. It's a moving target. Now, what you have to bear in mind is if you do go to another buyer, there's going to be issues, problems, etc. with the other buyer. Every deal is different. Every buyer is different. Every seller's deal different. You get a new buyer and it's not like, oh, okay, let's get the new buyer. Everything's going to be great. There will be issues that come up. The demands, your landlord may approve the first buyer but doesn't approve the second buyer. Now you have leasing issues. The first buyer has no banking problem but has some issues with your contract. But then the second buyer has banking issues. What are you going to do? There's always a problem. Every buyer is going to have some kind of issue, has some kind of requirements. He's spending a lot of money. They're going to have those requirements, and you've got to be aware of that. So don't try to change buyers if possible. Stay the course. Keep the other buyers informed in the background. We do that for you. We'll have buyers, if we get a letter of intent, we'll tell them, the other buyers that call, we're involved with letter of intent, really can't, give you much new information about the practice, except what's out in the public. But call me every 2 weeks if this deal doesn't go through, and we'll stay in touch with you. You stay in touch with us. If the deal doesn't go through, maybe we can put something together. Keep the other buyer in the game, but you're not chopping the deal, and you don't negotiate with the buyer, and you never reveal what the sale price is. We never do. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy, and I'll move on to the next deal before I waste my time with that. Because I always fear lose the first buyer and lose the second buyer. So don't do that. So anyway, this is just some things that we try to give you breaking information, breaking news. We're out there negotiating today, yesterday, last week. I will write a book one day, but I don't have time for books because everything changes. It's a moving organism. The story about, as I mentioned in my other videos, it is completely different in August 22. The employment situation of dental auxiliaries. It is completely different. It is totally changed. It is so difficult to get an employee now. That market has completely changed. And you got to be aware of that. The market's changed. So let's, hang in. Realize there's always a problem. The next buyer is always going to have another issue. And we'll get you through it. All right? Thank you for listening. It is a beautiful beach day. Get out there and make it happen. We'll be working on the weekend, but enjoying the beach also. So get out there. Great seeing you guys. Talk to you. Bye.